So many of you are seeing the benefits of having a more plant-based type of diet, or primarily plant-based, focusing on more veggies and fruit. However, the biggest concern when going plant-based is how can I get more protein? When going through something like chemotherapy or radiation therapy, or your body is just losing a lot of weight through the type of disease process that you're going through, one of the number one things that your healthcare providers tell you is to eat more protein. But how do you get that from a plant-based diet? I'm going to tell you how. Hey love, if it's your first time here, I'm Yentl, holistic dietitian and therapist specializing in cancer and chronic conditions. So if this sounds like your vibe, subscribe to become part of the tribe. And if you're a returning subscriber, it warms my heart to see you back. So what is the number one plant-based protein? It's pulses. What are they? How are they beneficial to me? How can I incorporate them more into my diet? What they are and all the different benefits that they provide is what I'm going to share with you in this video. So first and foremost, what are pulses? Pulses are your dry beans, dry peas, chickpeas, and lentils. Not to be confused with legumes. A legume refers to the plant or type of plant, and the pulse is the dry edible seed of the plant that is actually dry when harvested. Pulses are a type of legume, but not all legumes are pulses. Pulses can count as either a vegetable or a protein source. As you can see from the My Plate example, pulses can count as either a vegetable on your plate, with one vegetable serving being equivalent to about 1 cup of cooked lentils, chickpeas, dry peas, or beans. Or it could also be a 1 ounce protein equivalent, and as you can see, some of the examples are about 1/2 cup of cooked lentils, chickpeas, dry peas, or beans, or 2 tablespoons of hummus. Studies have found that Americans who eat more pulses are most likely to meet their nutrient needs. Unfortunately, not many of us consume enough of them. What is recommended is about 1.5 cups of beans, peas, or lentils, or chickpeas throughout the week. Pulses are also considered a very good source of protein. And what is considered a good source is anywhere from 10 to 19% of the daily value. And all of the pulses fall well within that range. So quick pop quiz. Which contains more protein? 1/2 cup of lentils or 1/2 cup of quinoa? Write your answer in the comments below and I'll get back to the answer in just a moment. Pulses are also an excellent source of dietary fiber. An excellent source provides 20% or more of your daily value. And as you can see from this chart, all of your pulses provide more than 20% of your daily value of fiber. And why is fiber so important to your health? Fiber delays the gastric emptying of foods into your small intestine, which helps you to feel fuller for a longer period of time. This delayed gastric emptying also is really great for reducing spikes in your glucose levels. So if you're someone with diabetes, for example, you can eat pulses to help you feel more satiated, as well as reducing spikes in your sugars. Fiber also interferes with the absorption of dietary fat and cholesterol, which means it can help bring down your cholesterol and triglyceride levels in the long run. Pulses are also a good source of iron. A good source of iron provides about 10 to 19% of the daily value. And as you can see here, with the exception of split peas, most of your pulses are a good source of iron. Now let's talk about iron a little bit, because there is heme iron and non-heme iron. So heme iron is found in the blood and muscle, while non-heme iron is found in plant-based foods. Heme iron, which is found in animal products, is more bioavailable to our body. What bioavailable means is that our body is able to absorb and use it better. However, we can still increase the absorption of iron from plant-based foods. And the way you can do that is by combining it with vitamin C foods like canned tomato sauces or products or fresh tomatoes in the cooking process. You can also cook your pulses in a cast iron. So the iron from the cast iron pot does seep through the food, giving you more iron to absorb. And if you combine it with a vitamin C product or vitamin C food, you have even more of an absorption of the iron from the plant food. People who eat a vegetarian diet do need twice the iron than people who are not on a vegetarian diet. So make sure that you use these techniques to absorb the non-heme iron better. Pulses are also natural sources of zinc, magnesium, and choline, which are very underconsumed in our standard American diet. Zinc, for one, has gotten a lot of buzz recently because it is very well known to boost your immune system. Zinc also helps with wound healing, so consuming this nutrient post-surgery, for example, can be so beneficial. Magnesium can also be helpful to reduce anxiety and depression and to treat insomnia. And lastly, choline is an essential nutrient for brain function, and it can improve your memory. Pulses are also naturally gluten-free. For people who have celiac disease or who are gluten sensitive, there are so many products now that are made from pulses. Things like chips, flours, and pastas, making it less difficult for people with a gluten intolerance to enjoy more variety and deliciousness in their meals. Another reason why pulses are the best plant-based protein is because it is so budget friendly. Dry pulses average around 14 cents per serving, while canned pulses are about 28 cents per serving, and frozen pulses, being on the most expensive side, are only about 57 cents per serving. Pulses are also a very versatile ingredient. If you watched my video on how to eat more veggies and love it, you'll be able to see all the different ways that you can include pulses in your diet, dinner, lunch, and breakfast, believe it or not. Pulses also help to reduce food waste. Dry pulses are shelf stable for about 1 to 2 years at minimum, meaning they can last even longer on your shelf. And canned pulses are shelf stable for about 3 to 5 years after canning. This shelf stability helps you to be able to buy in bulk, which also helps to reduce food packaging. And the final reason why pulses are the best plant-based protein is because they are eco-friendly. Pulse crops are a farmer's best friend. They enrich the soil where they grow, reducing the need for chemical fertilizers. They're also drought tolerant and resistant to cold weather, so they can grow in the harshest environments. And lastly, they have one of the lowest carbon footprints than any other food group. Pulses need a lot less water and little to no irrigation. Now that you know what the best plant-based protein is, it's time to start eating it more often so that you can reap all the amazing benefits of it. Now, I hear you. I know that the main concern with pulses is the amount of bloating and gas that they cause. But I have a few tips for you on how to help reduce the bloating and the gas and help reap the benefits of eating them without all that discomfort. So for one, soak them overnight. The soaking process helps make it possible for you to enjoy them with less of the gas and also be able to absorb all the nutrients much better. Now, the soaking process is mainly for your dried pulses. If you're getting the canned pulses, you may or may not be able to reduce that gas effect by rinsing and draining them. So if that is a major concern for you, then I would definitely suggest starting with the dried pulses and then incorporating them little by little so that your body can build tolerance to it. And lastly, another concern that comes up when it comes to a plant-based protein is that it's not a complete protein. So very quickly, what a complete protein is that it contains all the essential amino acids, which amino acids are a building block of protein. And an incomplete protein does not contain all the amino acids. And nutrition experts, myself included, used to think that you would have to combine these vegetable protein sources with something else in the same meal to make a complete protein. But that is no longer the case. Studies have found that as long as you eat from a variety of food groups throughout the day, you will get all the essential amino acids and nutrients that your body needs. So now for the answer to the pop quiz. Which has more protein, half a cup of lentils or half a cup of quinoa? And the answer is lentils. And a huge hint for you, anytime that you see a pulse compared to a grain, pulses are always going to beat the protein amount. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like this video and share it so that we can spread the word on the best plant-based protein out there. And remember, you and your body are unique and beautiful. There is no one size fits all for health. So silence the standards because you are more. The best. What is the best? People who eat a I just spit. Sources? Why can't I say that? ¿Qué pasa aquí, chica?